everybody, it's Claire here from Sewn by Claire, and today I'm here with FlossTube number 6. Had to think about it then. It is Sunday the 23rd of October and it is a beautiful day here in southern Spain, which is where I live. And the autumn time is just wonderful here. It's lovely bright sunny days, usually dry, and then we tend to get a little bit cooler in the evenings, but just recently it's only about dropping down to sort of 19-20 degrees, so actually that's really quite nice and warm for an evening, and you don't really need a cardigan either. If you've got a dress on with some shoulders on, then you're usually fine. For those that don't know and who are new to the channel, thank you for popping along and taking a look at what I've been up to. I am a British expat, so I was born and raised in the United Kingdom in the Nottingham and Derby area of the UK, which is in the Midlands, right in the middle. And then nearly 4 years ago now, it'll be 4 years in February, my husband and I decided that we'd like to move over to our holiday home that we'd bought in Spain some 5 years previous, and we'd actually like to make that our permanent home instead. So that's what's happened, and we made the move just around the same time as Brexit, but managed to get in and get our residencia, so we are formal residents here in Spain. I do love it. I must say it's really strange. It's the small things that you really appreciate, and one of those is the fact that you can get your washing dry. I know that's not a biggie, but when you don't have to use a tumble dryer, then I know that it sounds crazy, but that is one of the things that I really love. The other thing that we really love is the warmth over here as well. The weather is really on the warm side. We've not enjoyed July and August this year. It's been unseasonably hot, and it's really strange because you think, oh, it's been a beautiful day, you want to get out in it, but actually it's been so hot that the sun is just relentless. So in actual fact, you tend to hunker down quite a lot in July and August in those hotter months. But again, you know, it's first world problems and all of that. Generally, we have a month, maybe 6 weeks in the springtime, usually end of March to possibly sort of middle of May, where it tends to be very, very wet. So we tend to get all of our rainfall in that time as well. But if you're thinking like I'm thinking, then it's just perfect weather for stitching. It's perfect weather to get into your sewing room, look at your projects and just get on with those and really enjoy the variety of our stitching that we get to do. So yeah, it's great fun to just close the door and get on with all of our stitching at that time. The one thing though about living abroad when you're an expat though is that you do tend to miss your family. Obviously if they come over and visit, then that's lovely, and we do have family members that come over. My mum's just been over for 2 weeks and my friend Justine's just been over as well, so that's been really great fun. And then we've returned the trip over as well, so I've been over to the UK the last week and saw both my sisters. So I'm one of 5 siblings. I'm the eldest of 5. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And so I visited my two sisters who live in Sheffield, and then it was also my dad's 80th birthday, and I'll pop a picture up of Dad with his birthday card. So we popped over for a meal with him and his partner Carol, which was lovely, so that was really enjoyable. My 2 brothers and my brother's wife went as well. So again, it was lovely to see everybody and to catch up and see what they've been doing and what they're up to. We also did pop over and see my granddaughter Clementine as well. Our granddaughter Clementine as well. So she's coming on now. She's just over a year old and is absolutely adorable. We don't get to see her as much as we'd like to, but we see her when we can, and that's really a very precious time for us to spend with her. So a shout out to Clementine if ever she watches this when she's a bit older, but yeah, great time had there with her. We visited some of Rob's friends as well, who travelled down from the Doncaster area down to see us, and we were in the Derby area. So we had a lovely meal with Steve and Pauline, and Rob, my husband, has been friends with Steve since junior school, so it's always nice to catch up with them. And then again, we stayed with my mum. We stayed with James and Sarah as well, Rob's son, so my stepson and his wife Sarah, who just really do go to a lot of trouble to make us very comfortable and very welcome when we arrive there. Sarah's cooking is second to none, and James's wine pouring skills are very much appreciated too. So yeah, we had a great time with them. So that's where we are on the life update. We're kind of learning to integrate a little bit more with being over here in Spain. We're starting to learn paddle as well, so P-A-D-E-L, which is a Spanish game and racket and ball game, really a cross between tennis and squash and kind of ping pong, because the bats are really quite stubby. So we're enjoying having a go at playing that. We're also trying to learn how to play bridge, which is testing for my skills. I'm a little mathematically challenged, shall we say. So that's interesting to try and do that when you're with people who find mental maths extremely easy. But Nick and Alison, our teachers and friends, are helping us very nicely, and we're picking that up really well too, so that's good. I've also started my sewing classes back in the local village. The town hall of Benahavis, where we live, actually put on free recreational classes. So these include furniture restoration, flamenco dancing, music, sewing, Pilates, and quite a variety of classes that are all free to residents, which that's great. Last 2 years I didn't make it, obviously because of COVID and because of the situation that there was there, and classes weren't quite as regular. But this year we've got back on with those again, and I'm delighted to say that actually I'm making a flamenco dress. So I'm making one a little bit older, because obviously there's quite a lot of work goes into it. So I'm thinking of age 6 for that, for primarily for Clementine Sattler, who I make it for. But yeah, I just thought I'd love to learn how to make all of those frills and flounces, and so we could have a look at that. So at some stage I'll show you how I'm doing with that. We're just at the pattern drafting stage at the moment, and I do need to go on a fabric trip to pick up some fabric for the dress. What a shame, what a hardship, but that should be good fun anyway to enjoy that. So I'll let you know how I get on. And the teacher Maritere there is Spanish. My Spanish is quite limited, but do you know what, through a love of sewing and stitching, we absolutely have a ball. So I'm there with 6 other students as well. Everybody's Spanish. One lady does speak, Miriam, hi to Miriam if she's watching, does speak really good English. So she acts as translator if I struggle, or we use Google Translate and type it or speak it into there. So do you know, it doesn't have to be a barrier. When you've got a common interest like sewing, you can actually really connect and make friends and just expand your integration really into the local community. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And as I say, once we get some fabric and once we start making some progress on that, I'll show you that in other Stitchy updates. But I'm going to leave it there then for life update and what's happening with me. But hopefully everything's okay with you guys. Thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoy seeing what I've been up to with my stitching. And I know I enjoy watching the other FlossTubers when I'm doing my sewing. I have it on the background, perhaps my earplugs in, and I can just watch and listen and you know, do my stitching as well. So it feels like I'm in the room with you and you're talking to me. So hopefully that's the same as it feels for you too. If you're interested in what I do, then I'd love to pick up some more subscribers if that's okay. It doesn't cost anything, as I've said before. It's just an indication to YouTube that you like this type of content, and it does help me with my numbers. And the more subscribers I have, then the more YouTube will push my videos out to other people and other watchers. And as I've got quite a few tutorials on my channel, then you know, that would be really helpful to me. So thank you for that if you do take the time. If not, just fine, just enjoy watching it, and I hope you do. So what have I been up to then? Well, actually I've done quite a lot of cross stitch. I know in my past video I hadn't done very much, but I feel like we've really taken a step forward with it, so that's really good. So just get my projects together and then we'll start and talk about that. So for progress then, I have been working on my ink circles pattern, which is called After the Roses. This is one that I really, really love. Let me show you the actual pattern. Apologies for the crinkling. This is After the Roses, just my photocopied version of the panel by Ink Circles. And this one caught my eye on a video by The Attic in America. I think Woolly Mammoth had Anna, who's on Stitch Roadies and Quilt Roadies, she'd linked to a video of their shop in America, and I must say I am in awe of your needlework shops in America. Well, I'm not saying we haven't got any, but I haven't found any that have such a choice of charts and flosses and what have you over here. It's just stunning, which makes my fingers itch whenever I watch the videos. So I saw this one that was done up as a model on one of their floss tubes, and had to find out the pattern and had to wait for it to be released because it was a market release a couple of years ago, and I've started that since. So far I'm doing this on a 32 count even weave by Zweigart, and this is where we're at. Let me just get to the top. That's the top. So this is where we're at with this at the moment. Hopefully some of the colours are coming through. Absolutely beautiful colours. Might be a little bit dark on here now at the moment. I struggled with the light because we've got either got a lot of light or we've got very it's quite cool and dark. So, but yeah, this is the ink circles after the roses, and I've got down to this part just here where we can finish it like here. But the problem was I ran out of hickory sticks, which is the darker stem floss. Now, to me, it doesn't feel like there's that much hickory sticks on there compared to some of the other stitching and other colours. So I don't know whether I've lost some floss somewhere along the line and it's just got thrown away by accident. I don't know. But I did have to pick up another one of hickory sticks. And again, trying to pick up the flossers is not easy over here as well. So I actually had this one purchased from eBay, no not eBay, Etsy, and then I had it transferred across to me, posted to me, to my mum in the UK, and then I picked it up from her. So it's done with Classic Colorworks. All of the threads are those cotton ones, but the colours are just beautiful. So I'm really pleased with that. So hopefully a little bit of a final push on and I'll be done with that. I think the last time I spoke to you, I think this bit hadn't been done and neither had this. So quite a lot of progress on there, and I'm stitching 2 strands over 2 threads, so it's 2 over 2 on that one, and that's the say on the Zweigart, just on an off-white. So really enjoying doing that stitch, and as I say, I've just got to put a final push on. Too much for one session, I think, to be done on there, but maybe 3 or 4, and I might be able to crack on with that if I do well. So let's just pop that back in there. I'm very short on another colour called Latiera, but I'm just hoping that I can manage to pull it through without having to order another. I don't know how anybody else who's stitched that has got on, and whether you've needed to pick up any extra floss or not, or whether I'm just an uneconomic stitcher, I'm not sure. But for me, I'd picked up all the flosses originally, so I'm hoping that the colour lot is going to be okay. It's not, it is a variegated thread anyway, so I'm hoping that will work and it will then pick through okay. The next one then that I was on about, and I'd asked for your help last time, was this one called Home Sweet Heart Home, and this one is by Riverdrift Needleworks. So it's a lovely pretty pink and grey design on there. Really drawn to that one, very, very pretty. This is done on 14 count Aida, and also it's got threads with it as well. It came as a complete kit, but I don't know what brand the flossers are. Now last time we spoke about the outside border here, because there's a grey and a green. There's 2 different colours in that border there, and I'd only done a quarter of it. I'd done this section here, and I was asking you whether I thought that we ought to just carry on or whether I ought to pull it out because it's just too similar. I've carried on, I have to say, and I've got stuck into it actually, so we've done quite a lot of progress on this one. So this is where we're looking at the moment. So I've got all of that border done, inside and outside one. I've also got the 4 love hearts done in the pink. I know down here I've just missed off a couple of the inset of the colours here in the lighter colour, so I just need to finish off those. So that's like this side. But then I thought I would work on these flowers here on the border and then finish these off here and do those first before then finishing in the centre bit. So that's where we are with that. It's just a white Aida, although it looks a little bit grey in here. I can assure you it is white, it's just the light. But beautiful colours, they're really popping on that fabric. And it's a nice, after doing the even weave with the after the roses, it's a much easier stitch. I know that the Aida is much easier to stitch on anyway. I do prefer the finish of even weave, and I haven't yet tried stitching on linen, so that is something that I'm going to look at trying to do. I just need to have a bit of confidence and just be sure of what I'm doing, because there's nobody locally I can ask. So I either have to watch YouTube videos to see how to do it and how to just make sure I start at the right point, because I think your threads can go behind, can't they, if you're not careful. So what I think I'm going to do is try and pick up a kit with a very small motif in, and also on linen, perhaps from Etsy, something like that. When I'm over again, I'm back over in December into the UK. Oh, I've got a hair in my head. And so I think that if I pick up a small kit then on linen, I can try it without giving too much pressure on myself and just see how I get on. This one I'd picked up the kit from Etsy before I'd had to go on the Evenweave, so I actually started this one before the After the Roses. But again, with that green and that grey, it just put me off a little bit. But I'm just going to persevere with it anyway. I've already got the threads for it, so I might as well just carry on and do that. So that's where I am with those two. The third one that I've got started is this one. This was another kit. This was from a Christmas present from my friend Lindsay. And that's this one here by Louise Art Stitch Designs, and it's called Mousehole Harbour. And my friend Lindsay, who bought this for me, is a surfing chick. So she enjoys surfing, and she lives in Cornwall too. So I think the surfboards and the fact that it was a Cornish harbour that she probably knows just really pulled it for her. It's not my usual style, I'm going to say that, but I have got it started. I found the middle and started working on this page here, which incorporated this bit here with a bit of the wall, and then this tower. But I've got stuck on the clock tower, and I must say I haven't actually gone back to it since. So once I get After the Roses finished, this is going to be my main project. I mean, it's a total coverage again, which is completely new to me. I've not done that before. But again, it's kind of helping without the counting, if that makes sense. So with the counter cross stitch, you've got all of those voids to count across, and sometimes that cannot match up. But with this, at least you know the next 10 squares have to meet on with the 10 squares before. So that should hopefully be okay. So the progress on this one is here. Oh, where is it here? Dropped out. So apologise for the trailing threads. But that's where I am on that one. So it's going to be quite a big one when it's done. I've still got to backstitch it. And obviously I've got the other sort of 5 pages to do as well, because this is one of 6 pages that I've done. So I did the middle page of this one. And it's this bit here where I was getting stuck with the clock tower and the clock face. But I'm hoping that once I've done After the Roses, I'll just be a little bit more au fait with this one, and as I say, I am quite liking it. The colours are lovely, so I've just got to keep on with that and I'll probably drop down and do this page next, and then work out which side I'm going to do next. This is done on 14 count Aida again, and it doesn't say what the threads, it was anchor threads on this one, so they're just anchor cotton threads, so we'll see how we get on with that. But the details for this one are down the bottom here if you want to just freeze the video and get those details. So yes, so that would be my next one that I'll work on. I have been looking at some projects for what I want to do next, and I'm finding that when I've been looking at them, my eye is very much drawn to quite heavily floral designs, and also quite a lot of pink as well, which is quite strange for me because my house isn't pink at all. It's all on these neutral beiges and taupes, so that's quite different. And I don't wear a lot of pink either, but for some reason my eye's just drawn to the pink. So I've been looking on Pinterest, and I found a couple of designs. So I found this one that I really quite like, and just trying to, I love the florals, I love the sampler style to it with the alphabet on it, but just those muted colours again, you know, I really quite like, and very romantic in its style. I've also liked this one as well that I've seen on Pinterest, but I'm struggling to find the pattern for this one. I think it's from a very old cross-stitch magazine from 2000 and something anyway. But it's trying to, was it 1990 something? Quite a long time ago. And so it's just trying to find where I can find the actual designs for those. So if anybody recognises either of those two, then let me know. Yeah, so I've got my eye on a couple of those, or things that are similar to those. I don't necessarily, I know a lot of people go for houses. So far, I have, apart from on this Mousehole one, which obviously has quite a few houses on it, I haven't stitched any houses otherwise, but they don't kind of call to me so much, so we're just going to see how we go with that and what I find with that. I have stitched with silk thread as well. I used a Mrs. Sadus silk thread on a modern folk embroidery heart that I've got. Again, I've fallen out of love with that one because I got stuck on it and it wasn't meeting up, so I need to look at that one as well. And I quite like that, but whether I can justify the expense for a larger project with silk, I'm not sure as yet. So again, I'm just weighing up how I want to play it in the future. Silks are not easy to get over. I mean, obviously, Mrs. Sadus, she is a Spanish supplier, so her threads I can get. But there's another place called Mikasa. Can't think. Mikasa Rojo. She does also does some of the American style embroidery charts. And so I need to have a look at those as well and just see what I'm going to do next. So yeah, quite exciting stage to start to be planning what's going to be new when I've got two that I think are really well on the way now. And the full coverage is different to the other one, to the counter cross stitch. So that'll just keep going on, I think, for a few more years yet. And I'll keep building upon that one as we can, and you'll be able to see my progress as I record it. So next I was just going to talk to you about a couple of fully finished projects that I've had done, and let me just get those together and I'll show you those. So I have finished two projects. I think last time I'd got them finished, but I hadn't got them fully finished, and so now I have actually fully finished them. So the first one is this one. Excuse the glare. This is called Dandelions, and this is by Jiggery Pokery on Etsy. And so this was pre-printed circles on linen, and then that's got embroidery. Then you're given the floss and the stitch map, if you like, chart to how to stitch those, and some instructions on how to stitch those. Apologies for the reflection, just trying to get it so you can see it. Really pleased with this one. The frame on this one I actually picked up from a local charity shop. It was only €6, I think, and it had got a very this orientation, and it got a very old floral picture in it, but the colours on here I thought were just perfect with this turquoisey blue and gold, just to be able to use for this frame. So this is now in our second bedroom, and goes in very nicely just there, so I'm really pleased with that. So that was quite a budget one, so I've actually sellotaped this one and framed this one myself. I laced it over a board in order just to hold it flat, and it was quite twisted actually by the time I'd finished with it. So a quick press and then just measuring it and trying to get it even. But yeah, we've managed to get that one finished, so I was quite pleased with that one. So that's lovely. And then the one that I'm really, really happy with is this one here. And this is my three, see outside there, washing outside, 3 cherry trees here, and they're all French knots in there. And that one I have had framed by a local framer, just with this white frame with this beading edge, which is really lovely. So that was the framer, if anybody lives locally to me, then you can pick up the details from there. But they did a fantastic job, and actually it brought a tear to my eye when I picked it up because I was just so thrilled with it. My husband helped me pick out the grey on the backing here, and then suggested the white double border here, and that absolutely just makes the embroidery pop, I think, and the linen. So really, really pleased with that. And this one's hanging in my sewing room now, so I can pop that. The reason it's hanging in there as well is there's no pink anywhere else in the house, so I say it's quite strange that my eye is drawn to the pink designs, but yeah, I really, really, really love that one. So really pleased with that one. So I hope that you are too. So that's the 2 fully finished that I've got. Hopefully ink circles will go off to the framers next month, I think. Get that done before Christmas if I can, and get that one framed. And we'll see what frame I choose for that one. I'm thinking something fairly ornate actually, but we'll wait and see what choices they've got. And I do like to have a mount on them, so we'll see how they go. So if you're watching for cross stitch and embroidery, that's it for there. So obviously if that's all that interests you, then see you soon, and hopefully you'll have a great day, and happy stitching to you. If you like my other projects, and I've got a few other bits and bobs to show you, then please stick around, because I am a multidisciplined crafter and stitcher, so I have got a few more things to show you. So let me just get those together and we'll carry on. So one of the first things I've made is some stitch boards, or some what do they call, project boards I think they call them. These are made by, as a design by Laurie Holt actually, of Be In My Bonnet Designs, and I've just got a like a board, thin board background. I've got some batting put on the front of it here. Ignore the elastic, that's just for holding my pattern on. And then you use a strip of binding, any old strips you've got of binding, and then you glue gun those on around the edge, and it just gives you something. The flosses just stick onto it, so that if you need it for that, which is what I use it for, or they're actually designed for quilt blocks as well, to lay your quilt block on, and then you can have several of them all stacked, and then you can carry your quilt blocks around without any problems. But they're really useful. I've just put a strip of elastic round. As I say, it holds onto my threads really nicely, and then what I've been doing is just putting my chart on the top and then just leaving it on my knee, and then that just helps lift it up on perhaps on a cushion as well, and gives you a nice hard surface just to hold everything, so everything doesn't keep slipping off. They're quick and easy to make, and as I say, Laurie's got a video of how to make these, so if you wanted to pop along and have a look at those, then look up Be In My Bonnet Designs, and they're called project boards. So I made, I think, 8 of those from some board we'd had left over, and that was quite good fun actually, just putting it all together with the different medias that are used for that. Next up, I have got my quilted advent panel, which is in construction at the moment, as you can see from the raw edges. And this is a advent calendar that I am making for Clementine, my granddaughter. It has little pockets on that you can put treats in. And this panel is a Makower panel, and it's called Santa Paws. So this one's for cats, but they also do one with dogs on as well. So depending on your preference, then you can sew either of those. And what I've done is I've quilted it through with some batting and some backing, and I've made the pockets separately and stitched those on. And the next stage that I need to do now is to neaten off the edges by trimming it all and then adding the backing. So this is the backing I've chosen for this. And I'm also going to do the binding in this, and also I'm going to do, I've got 2 doweling rods that I'm going to do top and bottom, so it's going to be a bit like a scroll, I suppose, by the time it's finished. And then I'm also going to make 2 hanging straps that can be tied in a bow and undone, so it can go around a door handle if needs be, or around a cupboard door or something like that to hold it up. So that's going to be the next stage, and I have got a video on my, well, more than one video. I've actually got 3 videos so far, I think, 3 or 4, on how to put this panel together. So if you've got I mean, it'll apply to any panel as well, not just an advent calendar. So if you've got a quilted panel in your stash and you're not quite sure what to do with it, perhaps if you've not tried quilting before and you'd like to have a go, then this kind of panel is really a good starting point, because it's not too big, so it's not going to overwhelm you, but there's enough in there just to get your teeth into and have a go. And again, these advent calendars will actually stay around for many years, because they're really quite robust. So next, after I've done my YouTube channel, next after I've done this FlossTube video, is to get on and actually get this finished, because I've got some people who are clambering for this. Now, the other thing that I did as well, because I didn't want to make this a sugary advent calendar, I wanted to do some non-sweet treats for going into this calendar. And so I've made, like here, I've made some little ornaments here. I've done all different kinds. There's 3 different kinds. Now, they're not quite the same as the style as the advent calendar itself, but hopefully these will be a little bit more appealing in longevity. And I've just used some little beads that I had in my stash, and then I've also stamped on the back of them with some words. So the idea is that while Clementine is very little, the pictures are going to be appealing to her, and then as she gets older, the words, she'll start to be able to read the words, and they will all pull together. So these, I'm hoping that she'll have a little Christmas tree of her own, and these fit just lovely in the pockets. Let me just show you how these fit in. So they're just going to fit in the pockets like that and hide the little ribbon. You can't see they're there. And then on each day she'll be able to pull out the ornament for that day and then hang it onto her tree. or even a Christmas wreath was the other thing that I did think, so I've done a video on that as well. So the video how I made these from the wooden blanks and decoupage the pictures onto them and painted them and varnished them is all on my channel as well, so have a little look at that. And that was a new area for me to try because I've never done any decoupage before, so if I can do it first time and get results that I'm really very pleased with, then I'm sure you can too if you want to have a go at doing that and trying that. And hopefully these little decorations will be around for many years to come. So that's what I'm on to next, is getting this little quilt finished. I have also ordered a quilt, a bigger quilt, Christmas quilt for her, for possibly for next year, I'm hoping, so I'm going to work on that through the summer when that arrives in, so I've got to do that, but I'll show you that, more of that in another video. Let's pop that to one side. I've also been working on my lunar lapins, so those that have seen my videos before, you know that I like making these little lunar lapin rabbits. This is Ballerina Luna with her little French knickers on underneath and her knitted ballet wrap. So Luna now has a friend called Wilhelmina Mouse. I think I might redo her whiskers though, because they're looking a little bit too heavy, I think, but I haven't got around to that yet, but she's all now done. So there's a video on how to make the Lunar Lapin doll. You need to get the books by Sarah Peel. You can get those from the website called coolcrafting.co.uk. They are available on Amazon as well. And that has the patterns for the characters in them and some of the clothes. So this here is the t-shirt dress that I finished with this bow on the front, and I've done a video on my channel how to make that as well as how to make lunar lapin by machine. You can make them by felt, which is what the designer originally chose as the material for them, but I actually prefer them in the quilting cotton I've made them in, and this one's in a linen fabric as well, which has turned out really nicely. So if they appeal to you, they are lovely. They're fairly straightforward, a little bit fiddly, but if you want a nice little project for in the evenings, you can hand sew these as well, and the clothes, because they're all really small, but they make a lovely gift as well for a new baby. They're not classed as toys because of the little buttons for their eyes, and also there's buttons on their arms as well, holding on the top of their arms. So because they're a choke hazard, then you do have to recommend to the parents that they keep the toys out of the way. I think children over 3, they can then play with these. But by that stage, you'll have a whole new wardrobe for them, so you'll be able to share with those. So there's videos for how to make these on my channel. And to say, I've got some more videos planned, because out of all of the videos that I do, the characters and the clothes for these little dolls seem to be the favourite. So those are the ones that get the most views for me. So what I have done is I've picked up some fat quarters from we have got a local quilting shop. Mi Casita de Patch is what it's called, over near Malaga, and I've picked up these fabrics here, which are lovely, I think. These are mostly Tilda's fabrics, but they should make some lovely clothes. I'm not sure if that one's a little bit too big, but I just couldn't, on the polka dots, but I just couldn't resist it. I thought it was such a fun print. So yeah, so those ones will hopefully feature in some of the future clothes that I've got planned. And also, in addition to that, there is a little rag doll that Sarah Peel, who's the designer of the Lunar Lapin dolls, has made. And so I'm going to have a go at her. Her name is May Loveday, and I've chosen this for her skin tone. And then, because I've got a red-headed daughter and I absolutely love her hair colour, she's going to be a little redhead. So I'm really happy with that. So I've picked up this wool from Sasha Mayer, which is one in a local shop that we've got here. And I've picked up that for her hair. So at some stage I will be documenting how I make that ragdoll as well, and then obviously I'll bring it here to show you so you can see what I've been up to as I get along. But got lots of plans and not so much time, so I need to get my finger out and get myself moving with some of these things, because I keep promising and then they're not here. But the advent calendar is the next one, definitely, because I want everybody who wants to have a go at doing that to be able to get that made for Christmas. And if you need to post it off to anybody, then obviously you need time to allow for that as well. So that one's coming hopefully this week. On the dressmaking front, I have been making some clothes. So I've made this dress here, which is another Cashmerette Upton dress. It's got princess seamed, and it's got the little tie sleeves on that, and I fully lined the bodice on this. It's got the A-line skirt, so really pleased with these. And on my channel there is a video for, I think it's called 3 Uptons and a Rose Clare. And those are the patterns that I've done in a little twirly video, so you can have a look and see how they look. And I put on the channel as well what size I'm wearing, so that you can then compare that to what size you might want to make and how you think the designs work. I have since made an autumn Rose Clare, which I absolutely love, and I've fully lined that, but I'm going to do a quick video on those two so you can compare the two, because one's unlined with a tiered skirt, which is how Jenny Rushmore of Cashmerette Patterns originally designed that dress, but then I've changed it, and I've turned it into a fully lined, yes, the skirt is lined as well, but I've also put some facings in as well with the lining, so that it makes it a really nice finish. So I thought a little comparison video on those two would also be of interest to those who are interested in the dressmaking. For those that are a little jaded by the big 4 patterns and all the alterations that you need to make in order to make a pattern fit you and to fit your unique size and shape, then I really do recommend that you look at the independent pattern companies. There's so many now that do both cup sizes, that also do petite or taller ranges automatically, so some of the changes that you need to make to patterns are already included. I think it's things like Jenny Jenny at Cashmerette Patterns automatically builds in a slightly rounded back adjustment, because she knows that people who have got a fuller bust tend to have a slightly rounder back than those that don't, just I think from the sheer weight of the tissue. But those are the sorts of things that you can do. Also, the bust points tend to be slightly lower, again, for a more mature body and a fuller body. So I just find that now I don't even look at the big 4 patterns, Vogue, McCall's, Butterick, Simplicity, those ones that I traditionally would have worn and started sewing with as a teenager, just don't fit and just don't serve my body anymore. So I do particularly look now for the more thoughtful pattern companies who have found a way to design for a more mature figure that enjoys to sew. And so, as I say, those are the ones that I found, certainly. I think there's Style Arc as well, Cashmerette, other Love Notions, Made for Mermaids, Patterns for Pirates. All of those types of pattern companies as well do some really lovely design. Itch to Stitch as well, they're another good one. So there's quite a few there for you to have a look at that would really help you get started and also enjoy. And they do a mix of wovens and also knit fabrics, so you can get involved in those. Next on the list for me to make is this one here, which is the Cashmerette Rivermont dress. You can't really see it. I'm going to make this one here. This one's a peplum top, but you can see the line drawing on the back here, look a little bit easier. And so that's got a pocket, so it's just a straight, almost sheath dress with a waist seam, some double darts on the skirt, and then 2 darts on the bodice, a little scoop neck. And again, this is made in a ponte fabric, so that's a stretch fabric. I've cut out already this brown ponte that I bought from Sew Wardrobe in the UK, who have sadly shut down their fabric supply, so that's got a little bit of stretch to it. So I've cut out that one already, and I'm going to use that one for my wearable toile. So hopefully that one will come out okay, but any alterations I need to make to the pattern I will do, because then I've got this divine purple to sew with, which I absolutely love. Purple's my favourite colour, so I'm looking forward to that. And these dresses are all going to be my autumn wardrobe, really, and then I've got a lovely scarlet red as well. All 3 of these are pontes, so they've got a little bit of stretch, they've got some body to them, they're going to be quite nice and warm. So again, I can change the sleeve length, perhaps do a 3/4 length sleeve. I could also perhaps put a V-neck on one, or make or a scoop neck on one, rather than having it just as a slash neck. So I do find that with my body shape and my style, then a scoop or around a V-neck is actually much better for me than something that's quite high up. So yeah, that's the next one that's on the list. I've also picked up this one as well, which is the Lennox dress as well from Cashmerette. And I am going to be an advocate for her, because I do find that these patterns particularly fit my body shape, and that's the line drawing on the back of the Lennox dress there. So that's just a shirt dress, just with the buttons down the front, which I'm really looking forward to having a go at making yet. I've got some brown linen to make this one in, so that will be good. I'm just not sure about the skirt. I will definitely do the pleated skirt, not the gathered skirt. But whether or not I change it out and take some of the fullness out and make it slightly narrower, I don't know yet. So that's why we make a twirl, so we can try it on and we can have a look and see. But yeah, they've both got pockets in them as well, I believe. So yeah, that should be quite good. Yeah, so I enjoy doing those. On the dressmaking front, sewing front, because it's not really dressmaking for men, is it? But I have actually made my husband 2 shirts as well. So this is, I'll put some pictures up of him wearing these shirts as well. So this one is in a lovely linen that he picked out a couple of years ago. And we've made this in a grandad style, just with the buttons down the front. And then it has got the button and a band on the sleeves so that he can roll those sleeves up. So, and I put a little loop on the back here as well. So that's in a lovely linen fabric with this white stripe in it and a lilac, and he looks really nice in it, so I'm really pleased with making that one, and actually he likes wearing it too, which is good. I also made a blue striped shirt, which is this one, which is the first one I made, and that's got a full formal button down collar, and it's got the long sleeves with the plackets on, and the instructions for the plackets were really easy. So the pattern I'll put up here for you to have a look at, but that was from Islander Sewing Systems, I think. Definitely Islander is right, but if I put a picture up here, you'll be able to see for yourself. And if you wanted to have a go at making a shirt for somebody that you care about, then, and they do ladies' shirt patterns as well, then that's something to have a look at. Really easy, nice instructions, very comprehensive as well. So I've enjoyed making those 2 for him. So hopefully you can see that I have been busy, even though I've not been recording videos. Stitching time has been enjoyed and used, and so yeah, that's what I've been up to. And I'm just looking around for things that I've already made, but also the other thing I've made is cushions for my sofa. So I've made these ones with the piped edge. I didn't put a zip in these because I think that they don't often get a lot of hammer, so that's fine. And then we've also got a little bit flat. We've got these ones as well, so I picked up these as remnant fabrics, and I've made these for our sofas. There's 4 of each of those that I've made too, and popped onto the sofa. So as I say, those are my normal home decor colours, the taupes and the beiges and the neutrals we really like. We do have some colour with the artwork in. Oh, and that's the other thing I've done. I've also chalk painted this unit as well. So yeah, we picked up that on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was €100. I'll put a picture up of this one for you as well, so you can have a look at the before and see which you prefer. But I've just chalk painted that with, I think it was Rust-Oleum chalk paint that I used for this one, and added a little tassel onto it, and a little bit of the gold gilding wax, which is fabulous because it's also the same gilding wax that I used on the edge of these little decorations for Clementine as well. A little bit of a gold hint there. So yeah, it's just I just like to try and have a dabble at everything, I think, really, but then that's good because we don't get bored, do we? So I hope you've enjoyed watching what I've been up to. As I say, I've loved sharing it with you today. Now I've got to tidy up and put everything away, and also I need to get on and do the video for the advent calendar finishing for all those that have been waiting for that. So if you have been waiting, thank you for your patience. If you've watched all the way through to the end, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and what I've been making. I do make videos and tutorials and put them up on my channel if I can get the timing right and the time element right, because obviously it does slow you down to record the stages and to explain everything rather than just do it. But I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you have a little look round at my channel and see if there's anything else. If you do like what I'm making and the crafting that I'm doing, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can also hit the like button on this video. That also helps my channel and the visibility. And if you want to leave me a comment and say what you liked as well, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from where in the world you are as well, as I say, because I'm in southern Spain, so you can help me feel less alone over here as a stitcher by letting me know where you are in the world. So have a great day, everybody. I hope everything's good where you are, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.